Welcome to EQTV, the Emotional Fitness Channel. And today we're going to be talking all about boundaries. What are they? How do we create them? And how can you be loved for them? Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Quezel, emotional fitness coach and performance strategist. And today we're going to talk all about boundaries. And I notice in my research, there's quite a bit of confusion around them. A boundary is a rule, a boundary is a limit, a boundary is a protection. And it's all fear-based. When the truth is, if we look at a boundary from a different viewpoint, and instead of looking at it as a limitation or a rule, which makes us feel bad, makes it very difficult to maintain boundaries, makes us feel that we're pretty much saying we're unsafe, so we need to put this big wall up. But I say, what if we looked at it like this and looked at a boundary as a standard that we set for ourselves? And when we set a standard boundary for ourselves, it becomes a way of living and a healthy way of living. So number one, change your perception about what a boundary is. So if we've all got this in common, right? We all want to be liked, wanted, and loved, let's face it. And some of us more than others, if we've had a really negative childhood, a really dysfunctional childhood when we were neglected a lot, you go through this whole egoic system, breaking through all the barriers that you've got about seeking love out there, attracting narcissists. Believe me, I've been there, done that. So number one is to really look at, well, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And to really back yourself in that. So if the goal is that we want to be liked, wanted, and loved, then we've got to actually feel that for ourselves on some level. We've got to really back ourselves and show up for ourselves and look at, well, what do I need to clean up to actually stand in my power? To actually have a standard of, if my standard is I'm going to believe that, I'm good enough and I deserve to be treated in this manner, and you really start anchoring that into the whole being of who you are and how you show up, there you've got yourself a really healthy boundary. It's a really healthy standard. So step two is to work with it. So just create one straight away from a really, really high perspective. So let's say I'm good enough. I deserve to feel this way, right? So how would that show up in your life? If you take work, for example, how would it show up? Would you doubt yourself? Would you allow your boss to walk all over you? Would you be too available for everybody to try and prove yourself? We can't set a standard or a boundary for people unless we have one for ourselves. And that will naturally just work through into your life so beautifully that people won't be thinking you're mean because the boundary is that you're not allowed to do that and you're not allowed to do that. It's nothing like that. And so if you make the number one goal that I believe that everyone can feel empowered is to make their life their own personal project. Right? Really make your life your own perfect project. I mean, this is your life. This is our life. We only get one shot at this life. And so the more we practice new skills and how to be our best selves and how to nurture ourselves, how to take care of ourselves, how to set standards for ourselves. So if you're looking through a new filter of I'm good enough and I deserve to feel this way, then would you allow someone to take advantage of you? Would you allow someone to pile all their work on you at work and say, I need that by 5 o'clock, and you know it's just not a reality? Would you work late into the night for somebody who didn't make you a priority? So work with it is step 2. And then if your standard is, I believe I'm good enough and I'm going to show up in this manner, and then I'm going to work with it. I'm going to work with it at work and set myself boundaries around that. So when the boss says, I want that by 5 o'clock, you need to be able to step 2 here is really, step 3 here, sorry, is really speak up. Be prepared to speak up. I appreciate you want it by 5, John, but this is not a reality. This is just not a reality. So how can we rework it so you're getting your needs met? Oh, well, you'll have to work late. Okay. And how much will you pay me to work late? Right? Or speak up and say, look, can we rework this for 3 days? You know, because a lot of people will treat you how you let them treat you. Now, it's a really difficult one with the boss, right? You don't want to be fired. And so, but ask yourself this question: do you want to be a martyr? Do you want to work like a dog for somebody who A, doesn't pay you enough and doesn't appreciate you? So you've got to be prepared to speak up. And for example, if somebody rings you or texts you and expects you to be on the spot, Johnny, and text them back, number one, they may not have a lot of self-awareness. They may think the universe revolves around them, and they just mightn't recognize that you actually are in the middle of something, right? And so how can you speak up? You know, I appreciate that you're anxious right now or in a hurry and things like that. I'll get back to you later today. I'm good enough. I deserve to be treated this way. So speak up. But here's the real big one. Be prepared to walk away. You've got to be prepared to walk away, because I tell you, the sexiest thing out for anybody is to respect themselves. It just beams out to the universe. And I'll put a link here to a video about all about respect, because there's nothing more beautiful than knowing somebody really respects themselves. It's you see, we're either attracted to people like us, or we're attracted to people we aspire to be like. And so if presence and respect and all of those juicy, gorgeous feelings, self-worth and self-value and all of these things are shining from a person, then everyone wants a piece of that. So really, really valuable steps. Step 1, look at your boundary as a self-standard. It's not about anybody else. It's not about, it's about taking action based on your own behavior. And step 2 is work with it in your life. Practice it in different areas of your life. Now, hang on a minute. If my boundary for myself is to not give my power away, to know that I'm good enough, to set the stage for that in my life, that I'm good enough. I need to back myself. I need to be aligned with that, and I need to take action based on that belief. And thirdly, speak up and be prepared to walk away, especially if it's in an intimate relationship and somebody is disrespecting you or demanding you be a certain way for them, especially if you're being harmed in any way, put down, things like that. You know, these are everyone that acts like this, I can tell you this is the cosmic mirror, are teaching us about ourselves. Every negative situation is an opportunity to grow. How the world responds to us is giving us feedback. And so it's a really valuable piece to look at it and say to yourself, well, if I take responsibility about the feedback I'm getting, and I'm the common denominator in this, then I need to lift my standards. I need to and have a boundary for myself. That's not going to limit me. It's not going to be there as a protection barrier. It's not going to push people away. It's not going to say, you're no good. It's going to say, I'm good enough. And what behavior do I need to adopt to create this as a standard boundary for myself? And it's so empowering when you claim it. I call it claiming your essence. So I hope that's helpful for you, and it's a really wonderful new perspective how to look at it. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a wonderful day.